On today's show, are kids really calling up demons? And the TV show Nashville is driving me crazy.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey! My name is Brett. This is my show. This is my show.
Exciting show today. A few things going to go on the show today. We're going to be talking a little bit later about these singing shows. I have bone to pick with these singing shows. Now, I'm not talking about American Idol and The Voice and stuff like that. I'm talking about these shows like Nashville and this new movie, Pitch Perfect. Of course, the original Pitch Perfect. Maybe it's just because I've been in that. I've been in music. I've been in bands. I've co-wrote songs with people. I've collaborated with other people, and I just know how that stuff works. Look, I'm addicted to Nashville, but that show drives me nuts, and I'll tell you why coming up in a few minutes. And then Netflix is just taking over the world. I'm going to tell you, I already had a Netflix addiction, but I'm convinced in 5 years there'll be nothing left but Netflix. Netflix and ESPN will be all that's left. Maybe the Disney Channel, maybe the Cartoon Network, and that'll be it. You won't need anything else. Talk about that coming up. And a real quick note, man, if you would like to be on the show, if you think you could offer something significant, and by significant, keep in mind it's my show, so nothing really significant ever happens on the show. But if you think you could offer something to the show, whether it be entertaining, informative, weird, whatever, shoot me a message on Facebook, and we'll see if we can make it happen. I'm not gonna promise you we will. But it's not like I have a string of guests lined up waiting to come on the show, so the odds are pretty good if you can just give me some kind of a compelling reason. So just message me on Facebook. You can just go to the Facebook page there, the Brett Mason Facebook page, and just send me a message. Or you can email me, info at Brett, B-R-E-T-T, hyphen, Mason.com. That's a dash. Hyphen is a dash, of course. And I'd love to hear from you. But the first thing I want to talk about today is this Charlie challenge. It reminds me of the old, what was the movie where they would stand in front of the mirror, and you couldn't do that? The Candyman? Is that what it was? You'd be like, Candyman. Or a funnier version of it would be Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Well, there's a new thing going around. The kids are doing it. They're hashtagging it. If you go on Twitter and just look for hashtag Charlie challenge, I think it is, you'll see endless videos of these kids. And so what they do is they'll take a piece of paper and quadrant it off into 4 quarters. So you'll have a top left square, top right square, bottom left square, bottom right square. And, of course, it looks like a plus sign dividing them. And they'll take one pencil, a regular old number 2 school pencil, and they'll put it, vertically on the vertical line or horizontal. It doesn't matter. They'll lay it down on there. Then they'll take another pencil and at a 90-degree angle from that, so it forms like a cross or the plus sign. They'll balance another pencil on top, so it's just precariously balanced up there. So neither end is touching the bottom of the paper. It's just balanced up there, and they'll recant this phrase. This Charlie, are you here? Or Charlie, will you play with me? Or something like that. And there's just endless videos of them freaking out, man. The pencil moves and they freak out. And here's an example of one group of kids that did it here. This is pulled this from YouTube. Check this out.
Charlie, are you here?
So, I've seen all these comments on Facebook. People are just freaking out about. They're opening up the demon world, and the demons are coming through, and this is scary stuff. You don't play around with it. I don't really buy into that. It's a game. It's a stupid game at that. It's not even a good game. It's just a stupid game. And I can see kids get distracted by it because that's what kids do. Teenagers and, slightly younger than teenagers. Any stupid thing like that will captivate their imagination. But come on, the adults are losing their minds over it. I saw somebody post on my Facebook page the other day about how the churches need to have a prayer vigil or something for these kids to be protected against the demons or something. If you disagree with that, it's fine. And please feel free to comment under this post on Facebook or whatever, because we'll have a discussion about it. It's just a stupid game. There's no demons involved. When you balance a pencil like that, The very slightest of breezes will move that pencil. There's no demons. It's a perfectly natural explanation for it. There's nothing crazy about it. But from Facebook, I've seen blown up, and I've saw these people on YouTube posting videos warning of the dangers of this horrible thing. And actually, I subscribe to a lot of videos, or channels on YouTube, rather. One of them is a Vigilant Christian. So I asked Mario from Vigilant Christian if he'd be on the show to talk about it just a little bit today. And I think we got you here. I appreciate you being on the show. Your view of this, which is the same view I've seen of a lot of people, you actually think there's some kind of spiritual danger to the kids playing the Charlie game. That's right?
The spiritual world is a reality, even more so, I believe, than the physical reality. So do not toy with this stuff. This is occultic, it's satanic, it's of the demonic realm. It's essentially calling upon or giving authority to spirits to manifest themselves in a small supernatural way in front of us. So I mean, you heard in the introduction my view of it, but you don't think it's as simple as you got a pencil. It's barely balanced on top of another pencil. I mean, the amount of friction or the amount of force that's required to move that pencil is minimal. Just these people speaking the words is going to move it. That's what's happening. I don't think it's demons at all. But you disagree with that? Whether some are doing it like video trickery, that's very possible, but there's a lot of them, and it's very simple. It's just basically, first of all, the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in high places. So this is what we're seeing here. And it's no different than if someone was going to take a Ouija board, and this is a common phenomenon, and probably many of you, even if you don't kind of even believe in the spiritual realm or God, the devil, fallen angels, or any of that, have maybe toyed around with this stuff and have actually manifested some type of phenomenon that you can't really explain.
And you think like psychics and these people that are say they talk to the dead and stuff. Like, you don't think that's because these people, I think they're stupid. I think they're scamming people. They're not talking to anybody dead. They're not talking to demons. They're just playing a game. They're just playing a game and ripping people off of their money. But I mean, you think there's actually demons involved in that, right? Whereas me, I just think it's people scamming people and ripping people off. There's nothing dangerous about it. You actually think that's there's demons involved in that, right?
If you go to a psychic, they'll give you a reading, and it can be pretty powerful. I mean, I used to even give them myself. I was a psychic. If you know my testimony, I was heavy into astrology, and even tarot card reading is another way that you can do this. But again, at the end of the day, I learned all this stuff is satanic and deceptive and actually comes from demonic spirits. So don't get into Ouija, calling upon spirits, calling upon these Charlies, which is nothing more than a demon who's going to do this and move it in a kind of poltergeist, demonic fashion. The occult is real. Satan is real. Fallen angels are real. You can get in a circle, draw a pentagram, do rituals and all this stuff and have demonic power, but that stuff is false, lost, really sad and depraved. It's the whole problem in the world.
Right. Well, I mean, we're not going to disagree on it, but, it's the reason I wanted to have you on the show. I wanted to have your opinion of it, and I do appreciate it. And I'll tell you, I'm glad you got out of the psychic mess and the stuff. I mean, honestly, I'm sure you can testify that your life is a lot better now. I think it's just because that's stupid. I think it's a bunch of garbage. I think it's a waste of time. I just don't think I'm going to agree with it. There's any actual demonic stuff going on there. But, either way, I'm glad you got out of it. I mean, I know your life has to be better. And I know you're probably busy and, nobody's ever heard of this podcast before. So I do appreciate you taking the time to be on the show with me today.
Thanks for taking the time, and God bless.
There you go. That's Mario. He's from Vigilant Christian, has a channel on YouTube. You can check that out if you like the stuff he has to say. It's a nice channel on there. Coming up, we're going to be talking about these singing shows, man. Nashville. It's a Pitch Perfect movie. There's one thing about them that just drives me crazy, and I wonder if anybody agrees with me. Maybe I'm the only one. So we'll talk about that in just a couple of minutes, so stick around. First, I want to do a big hat tip to our sponsor today, sportsmansoutfitters.com. Jamie, who's one of my dearest friends, even if he is an Alabama fan, I'll tell you something about Jamie. When I was fired from the Evil Empire and radio down there, and a little bit later on, me and my good friend Amy Pollard decided to start an internet radio station. Boy, Jamie was the first guy to step up, and he goes, "Man, I support you guys. Y'all been you've been in the community forever. You've done a lot of good things. You've been here, and I want to support your venture." And he did. He stuck in there with us. They came on. Our first revenue ever came from those guys. And, we decided that project actually didn't fail. We just decided to move on from it for a couple of different reasons. But not long after that, I wound up going to another radio station here in town with another good friend of mine, Melody. And Jamie and those guys were the first people to step up and come on. Jamie's just good people. Folks, Sportsman Outfitters, are just good people. Of course, they closed their location in town due to several reasons. But look, they have some of the best prices you could ever imagine on any of your outdoor stuff. Man, it's fishing time, saltwater reels. They got that. Your freshwater reels. You're looking for rods, freshwater rods, saltwater rods, all that kind of stuff. Game cameras, and maybe it's not really hunting season, but crossbow packages if you're into that, bows, optics, rangefinders for your rifles, and all that kind of stuff. Got some great prices going on right now. And the cool thing is, if you spend $50 or more, which you get, pretty much get anything. Nice, they got stuff less than $50, but. You get your $50 worth of stuff, they're going to ship it to you free. So, it's just like going to the store. I pay for shipping, except it just winds up on your doorstep. So check them out at sportsmansoutfitters.com. Sportsmansoutfitters.com. I appreciate all that those guys have ever done for me in town, Jamie and those folks. And I just can't say enough. It's hard to find good people. And Jamie and them folks they're just good people. Not sure what else to say about that. All right, so let's talk about singing shows, shall we? Over the past few months, the one that's drove me crazy the most, because I watch it religiously. I love the show, don't get me wrong. Scarlett makes me crazy, and Raina James, and Deacon Claiborne, and I just love everybody on that show. I think it's a fantastic thing, and it's good for country music, and I just like music. I like music, so obviously I like the show for that. And there's some good music come off of that show, too. But the problem that I have with this, and I have with a lot of other shows, and you can tell me if it bugs you. Like when you're watching when you're watching Grease. Let's use Grease, because I don't know a lot about musicals, I'll just be honest with you. So I'm going to go back to one from the 70s. But Grease, I'm guessing there's other musicals. It's a musical. You expect people to spontaneously burst into song and dance and do the most well-practiced, complicated sets of vocals, music, and dancing routines that you've ever seen spontaneously, because it's a musical and that's part of it. But when you're watching a show, it's a drama, it just doesn't work that way. And look, music has been a part of my whole life. I started playing piano as soon as I could walk, or trying to play it, and then I played bass, and then I moved on to guitar, and then I got in school and started playing saxophone, and started playing trombone, and I've moved on to other things, and I've learned how to play just a little bit of just about everything, not everything, but several instruments. And then I did was in bands and played bars and festivals, and I did that whole thing, and so it's not like I just showed up yesterday wondering what goes on with music. And you can't. One of the things that'll get me, and I think it was the last episode of Nashville, or maybe the episode before the last one of this season. It was one or the other of them. You had Scarlett wrote these lyrics because Deacon Claiborne's going to go in for this surgery, and bad stuff's happening, and so it just moves her, and she writes these lyrics, and she sends this text message to. What's that guy's name? The one that writes the songs with her? I can't think of his name. Somebody comment it if you're watching this. I'll figure it out. But so she writes, she texts him, I wrote these lyrics, check them out. And of course he's reading them going, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So the next day, or maybe he gets up that night, I don't remember. He either just gets right out of bed that night, or the next day he goes into his little studio there, and he takes her, because that's the thing. She writes the lyrics, he does the music. That's their deal. So he takes her lyrics, her poem or whatever, and he turns it into a song. It's a beautiful song, too. Just a great song. And it's just fantastic. And so then the next day, you see him, he sees her. I think he goes to the hospital and tells her he wants her to hear the song. Or they meet out front or something. And he starts playing this song. And all of a sudden, she jumps in with him and starts singing right along with him, harmonies and all. Now, she wrote the song, so she should know the words. And I'll tell you this, I've never wrote a song, and I write a lot of songs. Not good ones, obviously, because I'm still poor. But I'm an aspiring songwriter and have been since I was very young. But I can tell you this, you don't write a song tonight and then tomorrow know the words by heart. You just don't, especially if you didn't write the music for it. I mean, she just wrote it and handed it off. So she's singing along with him. But in some of these scenes, and I can't remember if it's this one, but in other scenes where the same thing has happened before, she'll be holding a paper that has the lyrics on it and just singing these intricate harmonies and just singing right along with them. She's never even heard the music before. And there's no music written out on the paper for her to follow. There's no way she could know what the tune of the song is. It's just impossible. And it makes me want to scream. Like, there's no way that could happen. I thought it was sweet that there's this traumatic moment in their life. Surgery's about to happen. She's emotional. He wants her to hear the song, and he plays it for her. If he would have just played it for her and she would have sat there and been moved by it, that would have been the perfect scene to me. But no, she has to jump in and sing it like she's known it for 20 years. She's never even heard the music before. He just wrote the music and came to let her hear it for the first time. I know, I have issues. I just really have issues, don't I? I love that show. I never miss the show. But this new, Pitch Perfect 2 or whatever it is that's out now, same thing. You got all these people standing around and one of them goes, oh, I know. What if we take this 80s song, I'm just going to pull something out of my butt here. We Didn't Start the Fire. And I'm going to start it out, and then all of a sudden, 17 different people jump in, all singing intricate harmony parts. And not just the harmony parts, because granted, if you knew the tune to a song, and you were really good, you could jump in and cover your part. You could cover the soprano or the alto or baritone or whatever, a tenor part or whatever. Because that's what you do if you're good at it. You could jump in and figure it out and probably go with it. But then they'll have these intricate breaks and these breakdowns and these segues into other songs, and it just happens smoothly. And none of them have ever done it before. Now, I'll say this. Pitch Perfect is, I guess, would be the equivalent to a musical. So it's kind of like that Glee show where the same thing used to happen on Glee. And look, I'm not a Glee fan. I did watch several episodes of it. I tried to get into it because I like music so much, but I just couldn't get into that show. I just couldn't. I tried, but I couldn't. I guess maybe I'm too old. So I guess Glee, and I guess Pitch Perfect is technically a musical, so I guess I should give them a pass on it. But this Nashville show, it drives me absolutely crazy. So I'm going to take about 20 or 30 seconds right now to tell you about my buddy Courtney over there at Toyota Dothan. You can go to toyotadothan.com and look at the rental car section. If you didn't know it, Toyota Dothan does rent cars. And one of the things about it is, I mean, the pricing on it is competitive. It's great. Better than competitive. It's good prices on the rentals, but there's these weird fees. Like, here are these other rental car places. There's these fees and this and that and the other, and I was talking to because Courtney works in there, Alan works in there, and I'm going to start. There's a new guy working there, and I can't remember his name, but he actually helped me out this week because I need the car to go up to UAB. But he was telling me, he's like, yeah, some places you can't just get a car the first time without jumping through some kind of hoops or something. But I went in there first time I went. I had my driver's license, had my proof of insurance, and signed a thing, bada boom, bada bing, and had a car. And it's just very reasonably priced. Matter of fact, I'm not sure off the top of my head what that Camry is, but I'm thinking it's the Camry's. It's in the upper 30s or something like that. I mean, you can get the prices on their website. Look, I'm not going to quote prices to you because I don't know their price list. I just know this. The prices are good. The fees are less. And those folks are often. And if you go in there and you see Courtney, tell her that you want to see pictures of that beautiful baby she just had. Oh, her baby is so gorgeous. Oh. ToyotaDothan.com. You can find out more about the rental business over there. So I'm going to wrap up the big show today talking about something that I'm thoroughly convinced of this, and feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thoroughly convinced that Netflix in 5 years will own the world. They have that Orange is Black. I tell you, I've never watched one single episode of the Orange is Black, but people who love that series are just rabid about it. And that's a Netflix original. That's not them replaying somebody else's show or somebody else's series. They made that show. That's them. That's a Netflix production. You have to watch. You have to have Netflix to get it, and it's just outstanding. And I'll tell you, the way I've started consuming shows is I love to go back and watch old shows and just pour through a season. I like to watch a whole season, and not in the same day, but over the course of a week or two or whatever. And so you can just, when you're ready, you can just jump back into it. And Netflix allows you to do that. And that's the cool thing when they do these original series like Orange is the New Black. You can get into that. That's not my thing, but they have something that is my thing. House of Cards, which is a political drama about the White House and stuff. Season 1 blew me away, and I was like, wow. And it's got Kevin Spacey in it, who is one of my favorite actors of all time. But when I've watched that season, and I think I watched that first season, it was so good. I think I watched it in 2 or 3 days. I watched the entire season. And then, of course, you got to wait a year for the next season to come out. Which is kind of weird, but I like being able to watch the whole season. But then they come out here, a month or so ago, 2 months ago, sometimes the last couple months with second season of House of Cards, and instantly I'm thinking, it's so hard to follow up a first season that's just so awesome. It's just really difficult. I watched this show, and I was like, God, this is one of the best TV series I've ever seen ever anywhere. And it's on Netflix. You can't turn on your cable and get it. It's not on your local CBS affiliate or whatever. You got to have Netflix to get it. So the new thing is all these sports, or it's not sports, but superhero movies. And some of them have been iffy on, but I am a big, the Avengers I love. I've loved the Spider-Mans. I thought those were really good. Captain America. There's been a lot of good ones. One of the worst ones to ever come down the pike was that, I think it was Ben Affleck was in Daredevil, right? And Daredevil was always one of my favorite superheroes in the comics. I mean, it's just a cool concept. The guy can't see, but he can see it. Some of that ninja Jedi mind trick stuff. And so then when Netflix announced that they were doing a series for Daredevil, I was like, oh, God. Well, first of all, it can't be worse than that Ben Affleck movie. It just couldn't be worse than that. Nothing you could ever create could be worse than that ever. If you set out, if somebody gave you $100 million and said, I'm paying you to make a movie worse than the Daredevil with Ben Affleck, you couldn't do it. You just couldn't do it. It'd be impossible. So that was the upside. The downside was I'm just dreading seeing it because I'm like, God, this Ben Affleck moron already ruined the Daredevil in my brain forever. Please do it right. Well, here recently they released it. I don't know how long ago it's been. I've already watched all of them, though. Actually, that's one of the things I do when I go to UAB with my mom, because she'll be back in the room back there for the infusions, or she'll be, doing stuff that I can't really be a part of for hours. Sometimes it's 3, 4, 5 hours. And so I'll just sit and watch movies on my iPad. And so I think it was over the course of 2 visits up there to UAB that I watched all the Daredevil episodes. It's so good. It's just so good. My mind's blown how good it is. And, of course, I've poured through the whole season. Now I got to wait a year again. And then they come out and announce that they're doing the Full House reboot with DJ Tanner and, Uncle Jesse and all of them. They're all going to be back on there. And I think DJ Tanner and then Kimmy Gibbler and Jodie Sweetin, who played DJ's sister. I can't think of her name. Stephanie? I can't remember. So I think the show's centered around them, but I think it's going to kick off with a reunion, everybody except those creepy twin girls. Remember when that Michelle was 2 cute twin girls and they were adorable? Now they grow up and they look like... I don't like to talk about how people look, because, look, I look worse than anybody on the planet. I could never in a million years look worse than I look right now. So I don't like to talk about people's looks, but they really do look kind of creepy. They do it on purpose, I guess, is the reason I feel somewhat comfortable saying it. They do that on purpose. Like, I don't try to look like this intentionally bad on purpose. It just happens. It's just what God gave me. I'm trying to fix some of it, but most of it just, I just can't do much about. But they wear these weird long things. I saw a picture of them the other day because it was a story about how they said they're not going to be a part of the Fuller House reunion, which I think is just the first episode, and then everybody's going away. And I saw a picture. I'm like, God, y'all really look like a witch out of a nursery rhyme or something. You know, like you should be out in the forest in a candy house or something, waiting to put kids in the oven. And so it's very weird to me. Anyway, so they're not going to be a part of the show. I understand that one girl. I don't know which one it is. What are they? Mary Kate and Ashley? Is that who they are? Yeah, Mary Kate and Ashley. One of them, I don't know which one it is, has Lyme disease. Or she had Lyme disease. And from my understanding and reading it, I didn't know this about Lyme disease. Even once you get rid of the Lyme disease, you can still have Lyme disease symptoms, apparently. So I feel bad for her. And I don't know if that contributes, because one of them does look worse than the other one, and I guess that'd be her. But anyway, but my point is that Netflix is just groundbreaking. Everybody is so pumped up about this Fuller House, which is a great, interesting twist, by the way, because it was Full House before. Apparently, the gist of this is that DJ Tanner got married to a guy named Fuller, so she was DJ Fuller, and so that's where the name Fuller House comes from. But she gets divorced, and then Kimmler moves in, and her sister, I think, moves in. Anyway, I'm excited about it. It's going to be next year before it's out, and Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll get to see it next year. But Netflix is taking over the world. Am I the only Netflix addict ever? Am I the only one that can't? I don't know. I would seriously let some things go in life to hang on to my Netflix, and I don't know what it would be. I think I might voluntarily sacrifice an appendage. Little finger, maybe, little toe, I don't know, to have Netflix. And if it came down to it and I had to choose, they have the great program, and it's not even the old stuff. And I do watch a lot of the old stuff. I love the documentaries, is one of the reasons I love Netflix. But it's these new series. They're just really good. They're high quality. It's really good stuff. And TV sucks so bad for the most part. Surely I can't be. And then I have insomnia. I don't ever sleep at night. I never sleep at night. It's a couple hours a night. Sometimes 3, sometimes 4, 5 if on a good night. And so without Netflix, I'd be screwed, because that's what I do all the time, is watch Netflix and just wish I could go to sleep. So that's all I got for today. I'd like to know your comments. If you want to comment on the Charlie challenge, and is it demonic or is it just some stupid thing? Comment. Let me know what you think about that. If the Nashville shows drive you crazy, I'd love to see your comments on that. And if you're a Netflix addict, and what do you love on Netflix? What is it that you love on Netflix? I'd love to know, because I'm always looking for stuff to watch, for something good on there that you can think of. Hit me up. Let me know about it. Thanks for listening to the podcast today, and thanks to my guest, Mario from the Vigilant Christian, for being on today. I appreciate that bunches.
This is the Brett Mason Show. Hey, hey, hey! My name is Brett. This is my show. This is my show. Hey, hey!